How you doing, family? We're going to continue with our theme. To know truth is to live truth. To know truth is to live truth. To know the truth is to live the truth every day. Okay, what I want to do here is to talk about. I'm going to continue on a follow up on the topic of the difference between intuitive intelligence and intuitive intelligence and instinctive intelligence, and the application of the both of them and how they work in relation to the body form vehicle and the spiritual being expressing itself through the body form vehicle. Okay. um, this is important because the the exchange or the interaction or the interface of the body form vehicle surrounding the intuitive, perfect, spiritual, infinite being that you are, uh, no matter what the perfect being wants to do, is a whole different ballgame from what it can do as it comes through this form. And see, you have to understand the dynamics of that. See, there's a dynamic. There is cause and effect. Okay, what causes the slowing down of the expression of perfection into the imperfect world? The vehicle, the form vehicle, the body. Okay, your person. We call it in spiritual culture your person, my person. Right? Now, what we did in spiritual culture was we always we were taught that in order to get more of the perfection or that your God self to express itself through this form vehicle into the world, to make the world better, that's the goal, and to make your life better, that's the goal. Okay. You had to cleanse the body. So the way we did that was we fasted, we refrained from eating. At that point, where when I did it was back in the 1970s. Okay, early 70s, mid 70s to late 70s when I started. And so we were doing extreme things because we were in snap mode. We were into snapping, sudden, natural adjustment of perspective and the person. Okay, and that's not the accurate term that I originally used, but it was primarily a sudden natural adjustment of the person and the perspective uh, of the way we looked at what we were as we were awakened. Okay, and in order to do that, there were things we did to try to train our body to snap into compliance with what the microcosmic being was insisting on happening. Because the microcosmic, once you awaken, you realize that the microcosmic being has to regain control over the flesh vehicle. So now we are 45 years early now. We're in modern times. So I wouldn't apply the same things that I did back then today. Because I always want to keep you rooted in reality. And I want you to do things that you can get done. I don't want to tell you to do things that are going to discourage you from getting some work done. So here's what my adjustment is to today, to the now. You can do the fast, but this is what I do now with my fast. First of all, I'm going to back up 1 minute. I don't want to jump around, but I have to cover this one thing. There are certain things that God has already put in place. See, you fast every night when you go to sleep because you're not eating every night. So that's why they say you need to get at least 6 hours of sleep with that one action. You're resting the body. You're disconnecting the microcosmic being from the form vehicle, step 2. Okay, and at the same time, you're fasting. You're cleansing the body because the digestive system is not working. So the body is just processing what you already put in and piling that up in the bowel system and in your waste system so that you can get it out. So one of the things, what we have done is you fast, first of all, okay? That's something you're going to do anyway every night. So you don't have to go nuts if you can't fast for a day or a few hours. I would suggest you start with a few hours. Say to yourself, okay, your person, okay, person, here's what I'm going to do. I'm taking control. I'm putting you on notice first and foremost. I'm taking control. And we're going to give ourselves about 2 to 3 years to get this together. But the sooner we can do it, the faster we're going to start getting the results from the law of attraction. So you're going to start doing your law of attraction. You're going to start training your person to comply with the rules that you are putting in, and you projecting your thoughts, and you telling the flesh vehicle, sit down, chill out, I got this. Okay? That's what you're basically doing. Okay, and how you do that? You start doing your fasting, because that helps to snap the flesh vehicle and the ego mind into control and into compliance. You are the boss. Okay, God already set certain ground room backup systems into motion because you go to sleep every night. You don't go to sleep because the universal, the microcosmic spirit needs rest. No, you're unlimited. You don't need rest. The vehicle form needs rest. See? Because it's temporary. You're permanent. You're forever. You don't need rest. Okay? So the way God got the system set up, you're going to get a chance to get in control every night. And you get practice every night. And that's why when the vehicle shuts down, you're still dreaming. You're still aware. You're still intuiting, picking up stuff. Because you don't sleep, ever. You don't sleep. You are distracted at best. You're distracted. But you're the boss at all times. So, see, the subconscious machine, like what Rhonda Burns talks about in Law of Attraction, The Secret. She said the machine, the subconscious, is working all the time, whether you know it or not. It's working. That's you. That's another aspect of you. And what she's revealing to you in The Secret, she's telling you about the authority that God gave you when you were born. You just never knew because of this lousy education system we got. You were supposed to know that when you were at least in the 3rd grade, so you could start practicing controlling your thoughts and your mind. And you understand that anything that attracts to you and comes into your life by way of bad fortune or things you don't want, it's because you was out of control and you were letting this thing just do whatever the hell it want. This flesh vehicle here, dumb brute, do whatever the hell it want. So now here's what we're doing. We're going to train the dumb brute. We're going to put the dumb brute in its place. Back where it, be honest with you, that's where it wants to be. Dumb brute don't want to be in control. The dumb brute would rather you do it because the dumb brute is lazy. Don't you see? When the dumb brute is in control, you never want to do nothing. You always want to take the easiest way out with everything. Because the dumb brute is lazy. You're not lazy because you got unlimited energy. So once you can get you to come through more, that which cannot be named, that unlimited spirit, unlimited being, once you start coming through, oh, all kinds of magical things start happening. And that's what I want to get you to do. How are we going to do that? First thing we're going to do is we're going to set some ground rules. We're not going to be abusive to the dumb brute pet vehicle, but we're putting it on notice. I'm taking charge. How are we going to do that? We're going to start practicing being aware that you are the boss, and the thoughts and the mind space and the stuff that's going through and the emotions, they are all the product of the vehicle here. So part of your exercise and your taking of control is you start controlling your emotions. Not your emotions, the emotions of your person. Okay, the random babble that your person has been allowed to let happen for the past however many years you are old, if you didn't know this. If you've been watching my lecture series for the last 6 months that I started recording them and producing them on YouTube, you've begun the work if you're still sticking with this. Okay, so you're on the path of righteousness. You're on the path of gaining control. That is the path of righteousness and the reestablishment of the balance. See, before, the brute was running everything. And so, brute is running everything. You down here out of control, letting everything just going on, paying the price. Okay? So, first thing you do is you start becoming aware of what is going through your mind space by disassociating and not identifying with yourself as the watcher. And you're seeing thoughts happen to you, not you to your person. Happen through your person. Everything that happens through this person. And many of us say you, and I'm in the habit of saying you, but your person. And when we were in spiritual culture, we call the you, you is always talking about this thing here, for the most part. The person. Your pet that has to be trained. Okay, so you disassociate with the thoughts that the person has been that is going through, if they're going through. See, I'm not going to assume everybody is out of control. You may be one of these blessed people that you were born and you're in control and you just want to get better. You can do that here. Okay, that's the first step. Next step: start controlling what you do, and only do what you decide to do through you projecting a thought. You deciding, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna meditate for 10 minutes. The next day I'm gonna meditate and try to do it for 15 minutes. I'm gonna have my tea because this coronavirus is going around, and hot drinks, hot tea, and I'm using green tea, which is the antioxidant, excellent tea. You want to drink more teas and things like this. Avoid the coffee. The coffee is going to get you hyper. You're trying to gain control, so you want to be kind of cooled out, and tea is going to do that, get you cooled out. And if you drink the teas that will cool you out. Oh, beautiful. I have lemon in there, a nice fresh lemon. With the lemon, always use the lemons with the seeds. Those are the natural lemons. Okay, I'm gonna start drinking more, so I'm showing you by example. This is what I do, and I said I'm gonna start drinking more tea because the coronavirus is going around, and hot things kills the virus and forces it into the stomach tract, which I just found out on YouTube from a young sister, 23-year-old sister. Okay, and I'm listening to the young people. I'm allowing the young people and doing everything I can to encourage young people to take charge, because you're the next leaders that are coming up, and I want you to get experience, and I'm going to give you everything I got so you can take that baton and take it to the next level. Okay? And so when I'm reborn as a child, I want you to be there and help me out and give me everything that I'm giving you. Okay, it's not selfish, but it's just that's the self-perpetuating process that God has put into motion. We just have been dropping the ball. Okay, so you're going to inculcate the tea. You're going to inculcate the meditation. You're going to inculcate the separation of your thinking process and identify yourself as the watcher watching the thoughts. And you're going to inculcate now not just watching thought, shifting your focus to project the thoughts that you want into the mind space. And you're going to, as the watcher's going to decide, I want to focus on success, prosperity, excellent health, wealth, building, tactics, focus, seeing yourself already having money, hit the lottery. What are you going to do now that you have hit the lottery? Law of attraction. Law of attraction and Eckhart Tolle says everything is now. We're applying everything I've been teaching now. Now this is how we're going to apply it. I'm not going to leave you naked on that. I'm going to make sure I give you instruction on that. That's how we do it in the military. We leave no stone unturned. We leave no room for error in the military. We make sure you have everything you need to be the best at accomplishing the mission. Okay? MOP, mission oriented protective posture. That's what we used to use. That was the acronym for the strategy that we applied to everything we did. The mission here is to get you right. To get you right where? Like Lauryn Hill said, get you right within. Why? So you can win. Everything is about you, you, you. You are the essential being. The flesh vehicle here is just a tool you're using to have what? Experience life, to have a better life, a higher quality of life. And if your life, the higher your quality of life is, the better, the higher the quality of life it's going to be for everybody standing to your left and your right, your sisters and your brothers. We are all connected because whatever happens to you impacts the next person standing next to you. See, that's the team concept that the military pushes. We leave nobody behind. Because if we leave somebody behind, we're losing a link in the chain. And once the chain is broken, we're weaker. See? There is all kinds of positive, constructive entities in your society. You got to back them up. Ignore these Confederates because they're always trying to tell you to segregate. You're better than them. You don't want to, you're not a part of them. They're not a part of you. They're better than you. Whenever you hear that, run like hell. Don't ever vote for these things because they're not about cohesion. They're about segregation. Divide and dominate. Divide and dominate. And I'm about combining and prospering. Working together, getting along with everybody in your environment so they can help you create a chain, a strong chain that will support you and your whole community. So what do you continue? What's the next step? What do? We make sure that we put things into the flesh vehicle form to make it more compliant, to do as it is instructed, as it was intended to do, and as it wants to do. You start inculcating and into your diet healthy habits. Colon cleanse, what goes in, you want it to come out. If you look at I wanted to see if I don't have my book. I had a book that was called The Anatomy of the Human Anatomy. And the reason I'm bringing that up is to explain why you want to refrain from the red meats and a lot of heavy meats. if you look at the human digestive system, studies have found that the difference between animals that eat meat, meat was meant to be eaten raw. And those animals that have that system have a straight through system, has a little mild curve, and then after that, through the thing and right out, because you don't want it hanging around in your system. So let's look at the human digestive system. It has a stomach, and then after that, you got all of this curly coil of stuff, and this is your small intestine. Then finally, they say that sucker is, I don't know how many yards, half a mile or whatever they say is long. Then you hit your large intestine, was just a small 3 feet, 4 foot thing, and into the rectum and out. But that, all of that, you don't want to put meat in all of that, because meat putrefies, it rots. That's why in the animal system, right through, before it can rot. They hurry up and get it out. And that's why animals you around them, woo, baby. Cats, oh, forget about it. You know? So how do you use that knowledge? So you start to put in things in your system, vegetables, raw as possible, blanched wherever needed. Broccoli should be blanched, never eaten raw. Do your homework. Study up on this stuff. It's not hard. And see, you got YouTube and Google. We didn't have none of that. We had to read the books. We had to go to the library and go to bookstores and pay for this stuff. Y'all can get it free now. See? So take full advantage of that. You know, whatever tools you need to make you better, that's what I want you to have. That's what I want you to have. Okay? So you want to inculcate grains, avoid, like I said before, avoid the breads, your brown rices, anything that has to do with basmati rice has to do with natural grains that have the fiber, and that's why you want to use also colon cleanse. I wanted to have the bottle here, but I left it in the thing. I didn't have a chance to prepare to bring it out. I have a big one over there. It's pretty big. But just look it up, colon cleanse. And what that does is, colon cleanse is what they call psyllium husk. Okay? And what it does is, once you mix it with whatever you're drinking, any juice that you like, I'm not going to get into the sugar, never mind all that. Whatever juice you like, use that. And if you decide you want to get to a more pure, natural juice, do that. But see, what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you to go too nuts. See, I want you to work with it where you are now. I don't want you to start doing no extreme stuff. I want you to get it done. So take that psyllium husk, take a heaping tablespoon of that, slap it in an 8-ounce cup of juice, glass of fluid, whatever juice you choose. Let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay? And it will absorb that juice and soften, so it's not gritty and grimy when you're drinking it down. And what that will do is, it will coat and line your stomach and your small intestines, so everything you eat is going to slide right on through. You know, your intestines will take what it needs, but it's going to keep everything moving. See, and when you keep everything moving, the change is happening. See, your system is getting stronger, your vehicle is getting more compliant because it's healthy. It's not blocked up with red meat and all kinds of things that's not good for you. Too highly seasoned, you want to avoid that as well. See, anything that's an extreme, you want to avoid. Like a whole lot of meat only. You know, I don't want you to put yourself through nothing that's too much. I don't want you to do too much meditation at once, so to the point at once, so it turns you off on meditating. You say, oh God, I gotta meditate again. Like I gotta meditate. No, it can't be that you have to meditate. It's gotta be that you want to meditate, because you're seeing the results of doing it. You're feeling more in control. You're feeling calmer. Your world looks less frightening to you because you're stronger, you're fortified with information and knowledge that you are applying in your life, and you see it working. You're using the law of attraction, and you're seeing what you want, and you start out doing small things. Just read the book. They tell you, don't start out trying to build the moon. They say start out doing little things in your life that you can see that works. See, we're going to develop a mission-oriented strategy that works. Okay, and I'm gonna teach you by my example, because everything I'm telling you, that's what I've been doing. And I'm doing it more now than I've ever done it before, because the law of attraction that I have all read over 10 years ago, I didn't even know how to apply all the goodies that come with it until I read Neville Goddard's book. See, Neville Goddard's book said you got to inculcate the feelings when you're in the now of having what it is you want. You got to see yourself being excited in the now. So your reality for that moment of time is not here now, it's there but now. There. Now. So you're bringing that reality here in the now. And by you doing that, again, you so important, you so powerful, that whatever you focus on, the subconscious machine says, oh, that's what you have. Oh, I got to get to work, because you are so important. You are the pivotal element, the juice and the fire, the nuclear source of energy that pivotally triggers everything. You got to understand. You got to get to understand this, and it is validated to you because everybody wants you to believe. So that means your beliefs is so valuable to everybody else. And I'm telling you, use your beliefs for you. Don't give it to nobody else. If you want to get together with somebody else in your family and work on meditating of healing somebody in your family that needs help, needs to be awakened, needs to be healed, you take that belief and you use it, and you decide. You. Take your beliefs, which is your focus, your energy. Everything you focus on comes into being, whether you knew it or not. That's what Rhonda Burns said, because that's a fact. And it must be true, because why don't everybody want you to get you to believe in them? There's more validation. It's got to be true. Everybody wants you to believe in them. And I'm telling you, believe in you. Believe in the system that the big dog has put into place. And I'm breaking it down to you. That's the anatomy of this existence. And it includes the law of attraction. It includes identifying with your essential self and understanding the difference between you, the microcosmic being, and you, the macrocosmic being. And in order to bond with that macrocosmic being, you have to stand still, because the macro is the macro. Okay? See, that's anatomy of the whole existence, including the quantum metaphysical realm. Okay? I'm giving you the whole red pill. Both barrels, no chaser. Pure truth. And I don't want nothing from you except you take it and max out using it to be the best you can be. Never mind perfection. Just do your best and keep it real. Get right within And because everything you do, all the work you accomplish within comes without. That's how you're going to win. As Lauryn Hill says, how you going to win if you're not right within? And she is absolutely right. Beautiful, intelligent, remarkably a wise sister for her age. And she put that out over 10, 15 years ago. And it's still true today. And that's the validation of real truth. It becomes what they call I forget what they call a song that is it just lives forever, and every time you hear it, it just sounds, great, like it was just sang for the first time. Like a legendary song. Um, so you want to do all of that work at the same time, and I want to talk about good and bad. Good and bad is relative to you. See, bad is if you allow yourself to get distracted and lose focus. But it's only bad to you. How bad? It's up to you. Only bad that matters is the bad that you consider to be bad. Again, it's up to you. See, what bad for somebody else don't have to be bad for you. You just deal with you. Get you together. Okay? And good is the best you can do at the time. Keeping it reasonable. We're going to stay reasonable. Don't put nothing on yourself that puts you into an outrageous. Take your time. You're forever. You just want to make this life the best it can be. That's what this is all about. The best it can be. Don't worry about loving somebody perfectly. And this is another area. Your mate, you don't own that mate. You don't own your mama. You don't own your daddy. Your relationships, you don't own anybody, and nobody owns you. What you are is you're coexisting, whether it's your mate, and your mate is related to your flesh vehicle form, whatever it needs. You controlling everything, but you got to listen. See, if you're going to project, you got to also evaluate what comes back. You're projecting stuff out, an action, you're putting out an action. For every cause, there's going to be a reaction. Okay? So learn how to read the reaction of your mate and of your body form. What does your body form want? What is your orientation? What's going on? Okay? And see, the more you work in harmony with your body form, the more you're going to get through. Because you're living in harmony with it. You're in cadence with it, in step with it. You're teaching it to step with me. Let's step together. You step with me. I give you some of what you want so I can get what I want through. That's called getting along. And the first place you got to get along is within. This marriage right here, you got to get that one right. Okay, at the same time while you're doing all the other stuff. There is no one before the other. We ain't going to fall into that trap either. Okay, and I said this before in my other movies. All of this stuff is mega tasking. Mega multitasking. That's what you are. That's what you are capable of. And that's what you can do. And it's up to you how much of that you want to do. It's up to you at all times. I don't call no shots. I don't set no standards. You are the only one that set the standards for your life, because I don't know nothing about your situation. You do. You're living it. So what I'm giving you is tools that you can apply in your life. I'm going to go to my notes and make sure I don't leave anything out. Okay. I talked about the instinctive and the intuitive, and how it confirms the fact that you are aware while your body is sleeping. Okay. and you're still dreaming, so that confirms that the intuitive watcher is always there, because your body is sleeping. So who's seeing, who's viewing the dream? Body gone. Body ain't in it at all. Body's so gone. See, and here this you know what else it confirms? It confirms that time only exists when you're in the physical form. Because when you dream, time, there is no time in your dreams. If you recall your dreams that the microcosmic being is experiencing while the flesh form is out of the game, time is instant. I mean, there is no real time, because if you call it back, it's almost like boom, you're jumping from one thing, because time doesn't exist. Confirm it. Check your dreams. See how quickly and how fast, instantaneous, as if because there is no time for you. Time does not exist. So when you recall things, it's instantaneously. And that's why when you get your micro being to project, the thoughts you're projecting have a greater power than the thoughts of this finite flesh form. It's finite. You're infinite. Your thoughts that you project, big time, that's power. That's why the subconscious machine only pays attention to what you believe. It don't pay attention to what this flesh form projects and stuff, because the flesh form doesn't repeat enough for the subconscious machine to even pay attention. See, the flesh form has to trick you into believing and into repeating, because you're paying attention to it. You're identifying with it. And the moment you stop that, you cut off the flow to the subconscious machine that's bringing about things that you never wanted in your life. More validation that the system works. It's not my system, it's our system, because we are all a part of the body politic of God. It ain't about religion, it's about facts. Hey, God power. Never mind no religion, I don't need none of that. I got the boss working with me 24/7, talking through me. Every morning I'm waking up now. If I show you the list of things just in the last 4 or 5 days since we've been on lockdown and I don't have to go out as much, I've been meditating. My meditations have gone for like from a half an hour. Now I wake up and I'm looking and I'm meditating and I'm getting an hour and a half in, and I gotta force myself to stop, because this stuff is coming so fast. I can't even write it down fast enough to give it to you. So I got to stop and say, okay, let me stop the flow and let me get this stuff down. Look, folks, I'm not making this stuff up. All this stuff came to me. All of this stuff. You see that? All this stuff here came in just the last couple of days. And I had to write it in shorthand so it wouldn't take up too much space. I'm not making this stuff up. This is the universe telling me to get this stuff to you in these YouTube movies. And I don't want no money, because I don't want you to think I'm jiving. See, we're going to cut all the jive out, and we're going to make this pure, raw truth. Cut the money out. So then why am I doing it? I don't need no money from you, because I got the law of attraction. I make my own money. Stock market. See what I mean? That's how you gonna know the truth. Pastor keep telling you, come back and get your 10% and do your 10% in tithe. Con job. You shouldn't have to pay for what I'm giving you right now. This is your human right. You're supposed to get this as a basic. Basic 101 human right knowledge that you're supposed to have. And if they had a decent school system, you'd have had it a long time ago. Okay? Let me look at the other things I want to make sure I said to you. I talked about good and bad. It's all about doing the best. It's not about perfection. Okay? Yeah, doing the best you can at the time. Okay? And this is how you get right within. Okay? Accomplish one goal at a time. You know, set yourself a goal. Like every day you say you want to try to uh, disconnect. Never, well, not, I don't want to say never, but when you're doing your meditations, keep it short and sweet. And here's the funny thing, and I found this to be true, and I think it's going to be universal because there's only one spirit here. When you decide to keep the meditations short, don't time yourself. Just say, I'm going to do my meditation now, and I'm going to focus on my breathing, and I'm just going to watch the thoughts. This is what you do in the beginning of your meditation. You just focus on your breathing. You're seeing the thought. The flesh vehicle is going to keep pushing its babble. It always is, because if you have allowed it to get out of control, like most of us have done, and I've done it too. I've only gotten but so good at this point, so don't feel bad. You may do better than I did, because you're different from me. See? The microcosmic being that's coming through you, which is me, same as the one that's coming through me, it's just mine is coming through the body form of Oduwole, Russell. Yours is coming through Chantel or Janice or Sandra, Jean. Okay? And you may be able to do it better. You may be able to meditate and you see the thoughts coming through and you're sitting back and you're just watching and you're focusing on your breathing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if you're focused on that, that's the meditation is training you to focus on what you want to focus when you want to focus for as long as you want to focus on it. Taking control. Now, you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to do this breathing exercise and focus on that breathing. Yes. Whether it's Tai Chi is going to be the same thing. But I'm focused on doing that. Could not be paying any attention to whatever thought babble was going on. Okay? And when you say you're going to do that for a certain period of time, what's going to happen is around the 3rd or 4th or 5th time that you do this regularly, the more you do it, the faster it's going to happen. If you do it twice a day, and I always recommend twice a day, when you wake up and before you go to bed, at the very least, if you can squeeze in a midday, now you are exponentially growing. You've added what you call, that's extra points. You're getting extra credit. See? And where's the credit coming from? From you to you. You. It's all that really matters. In terms of control, you. Belief, you. Projection of thought, you. Not reacting to some foolishness going on. And the way you react to stuff you're seeing, you control how you're going to react. You can't control what you're seeing. You can control it in the sense that you law of attraction and you're attracting positive and constructive. But how you react to negativity and challenge, you, again. You're going to be out of control or you're going to be in control. You are going to be out of control or you are going to be in control. It's always you. It's always been you and it will always be you. See why I want you to be you-centered? I want you to be you-controlled. I want you to be the boss at all times, wherever possible, within reason, moderation in all things. Okay? Now, keep it moving. See your, I already touched on this. I said when you doing your law of attraction visualizations and emotions and feeling it and sensing it and going to that as your now reality. See, you're changing the focus of your reality to the conscious now, to the subconscious now. You're just shifting. That's all you're doing. And you're doing it for a period of time. Okay? And then you come back into the conscious now. You open your eyes and you actually deal with the conscious manifesting world. Because once you're here, this is what you've already put into the machine. And it's now manifesting as good fortune. You're hitting the lottery. Somebody gives you a call. Hey, guess what? Listen, I was thinking about you. And, I just wanted to call and tell you how much I really, love you. And I appreciate all you've been doing with the family or whatever. That I really thank you for what you've done. All of a sudden, these things are going to start to happen. Hey? And you don't have to brag and say, oh, thank you, honey. Listen, I've been, I've been just thinking about you too. And I've been really seeing you having a lot better fortune now in your life. I see you really, you getting better. And I knew, and I had faith, and I have faith, and I always believed that you are a really good person. See, you're spreading this love. You're spreading this strength. You're spreading this good fortune. See, and it's contagious, and it'll continue to spread. That's how you spread goodness in your world. And I was telling a buddy of mine, you got to fight for righteousness. You got to get to work and do work for righteousness. Righteousness doesn't happen all by itself in a vacuum. If you don't do righteousness, evil, segregation, hate, murder, and destruction is always on duty. You know why? Because that's easy. It takes work to express love and think about seeing people doing better. That takes work. The brute dummies sitting back. See, it's easy to tear a building down. You notice the difference. To build a building, how long does it take to build a building? And look how long it takes to tear it down. If you can tear a building down in like a matter of 20 minutes, but it'll take you 6, 7, 8 months to build a building. See, folks, the evidence is all around you to validate what I'm saying to you. Because there is only one God and one system running all of this. And if you learn how to look and learn how to listen, you're going to see validation for all of these truths that I'm revealing and sharing with you. Okay? And a nice little cool saying that I heard from a young brother. I'm going to try to put the link in my videos. Oh, good. We're doing real good on time. And this brother, he said, when he was talking about the law of attraction, he said, you have to fake it until you make it. Okay? And what I said is, you got to fake the reality of now in your vision for what you see yourself having with the law of attraction until it becomes real in your conscious reality. Okay? So you have a subconscious reality that you are visualizing that has not yet been seen, as they say. Okay? So you want to keep projecting that positive, constructive reality as if it is now. Okay? And you're going to fake that repeatedly until you make it real in your reality. Okay? And I talked to you about good and bad and right and wrong. Right is whatever is best for you at the time, whatever works best. If you're applying it to help someone else, then what your best you can do is right. See? And forget about wrong. Wrong really doesn't matter. What matters is how much right are you projecting. See, wrong is criticism. See, when somebody ever say that you did something wrong, it's a criticism. But if you murdered somebody or beat somebody up or did something really negative, it's a constructive criticism. But other than that, they need to be pointing about what you're doing right. That is more important than anything else. And that's the optimistic view as opposed to pessimistic view. Okay? And again, apply the God concept to your learning process. This was one of the notes I came up with. And when I say apply the God concepts, plural, I'm talking about all of these books that are listed here. All of these things are conceptualized with the microcosm, through the microcosmic being coming through all of these human forms. And they are all doing the same thing I'm doing on this video. We are all trying to share the best information that we can put out here to make you better. And then when you get better, your children will get better. Okay? And the people that are of interest and importance that will listen. Because if your children don't listen, oh well, that's their life. If they don't want to listen, I guarantee you who they're going to bump up against. See, God got karmic law enforcement agency always in place. See, when God do perfect. God don't do jive. See, God do perfect. So if you bump up against perfect and you want to be confrontational, okay, you're going to learn one way or another, because you're going to do what God has designed to be done. See, that's why I stay relaxed. When my kids don't do what I tell them to do and I give them hints and suggestions and they don't do it, I say, okay, you know my rule. Those who will not listen will feel. And you know who's going to put their foot up your behind? See? Because you're going to do right. One way or another, you're going to do right. And depending on how much you defy the will of living in harmony with your environment and being a productive addition to the game of success, you defy that. Like I tell all of these filthy Confederates, they're going to defy the will of God and separate children from their parents and deny people access to help and the wealth that was given to all of us by God. You're going to deny the hungry and the people who are scared and running from terror and murder, and you're seeing the bodies laying in the river as they're trying to, so desperate to get to salvation, and you got salvation and you don't want to share it. And listen, I'm just telling you what's happening. I'm just showing you God working and the karmic law enforcement agency kicking behind. And that's why they used to say, oh, just let go and let God put foot to ass. Because, see, I couldn't kick ass like God can. See, when God put his foot up your behind, oh, baby. And the thing what I love about what God do, everything God do, it's so thorough. And I used to have a saying that, and understand this, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. But when you're dealing with God, baby, you're dealing with the heavy, the master doer. When God do you, oh, you're going to be all jacked up. And at the end of the day, if it don't kill you, It'll make you better. Because see, what God intended for this existence to be is moving back to perfection, which is God itself. And when you get in the way of that, you're going to get either transformed or mowed down. And I'm sitting back laughing at you. Not you, but the filthy ones, like that filthy thing in DC. I'm laughing at him. He swear he got over on the mother. He brought in Bar to lie for him. You think you got out of all the stuff he did wrong? Oh, God got something for that backside. See, because all the children that he killed and separated from their parents and stuff, he think he got away with that. Wait till November, baby, and you step out that office. God is going to put his foot up in his ass. And I'm telling you, I'm not cutting no corners. I'm not going to not curse, because when he's talking about grabbing vaginas and making fun of retarded people and whatnot and doing all his evil, I'm not the one to be nice to that. I'm going to call it like it is. God is going to put his foot up his ass. Sorry. This YouTube, so I can get away with a little bit. And children, I'm sorry. And I want to keep this honorable. But when you're talking about a dishonorable, filthy thing like that, balance it out. Talk about the fact that he's going to get his behind kicked. And when he get his behind kicked, don't look away. I want you to look at God tear his behind up. And then after that, just turn around and walk and watch him drop on the floor and let him flop around like he did them poor kids that separated from their mama. Some of them will never be able to find their parents again. That's not right. Equal and opposite with a little bit of added pinch of seasoning. Because when God do you, whatever you put out, that's what you're going to get back. Tenfold. So when you see him get his for the intentional evil that they do, you're going to see them get it back tenfold. And I say, look at it and clap and applaud, because you're honoring God and the beautiful work that God do. And it's justified because you're seeing reciprocity at work. You're seeing justice where there is injustice, and have been nothing but injustice since that filthy thing got into office. Stole his way into the office. It was injustice, the fact that he even got in there. He cheated. The Russians came in and rigged the election so he can get in. And he thought he was getting over. Enough of that. Sorry, I went monologue. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is your pet, your flesh form. And when I was saying you have to treat your flesh form with respect. And part of the work that you need to do is you have to assess, is your flesh form an introverted flesh form or an extroverted flesh form like I am? I am kind of in the middle. I'm not actually all extrovert. I'm kind of introvert because I can deal with details and I can focus for long, massively long periods of time. So I balanced off my extrovert, which is me talking to you and speaking in public and keeping my focus. And my introvert is helping me keep my focus and allowing me to sit back and do the study and do the detail, taking my time and not rushing through anything, making sure I'm absorbing all of the information that I can get. And I learned that from studying with the masters up on Convent Avenue on 145th Street, and with spiritual culture. And you go in there and you see in your lectures, you get used to, I got used to lectures before I ever went to college. I never really had a lecture when I was in college. I had learned lecturing when I was in spiritual culture, because everybody that taught in the spiritual culture group were PhDs and people with masters and teachers and instructors, and some of them were concert pianists, and these people were just extraordinary people. But they knew something was wrong, and they were giving back to the community, and everything they did was free. We never paid for anything. Never. When I went to Convent Avenue, we never paid for anything, folks. Massive amounts of information. But we drove the professors. We let them come sleep in our homes whenever they needed it. If they were out of town, wherever they went, Professor Lynn Jeffries, Smalls, Dr. Clark, Scobie, any one of them, if they came and they needed it, oh, mi casa su casa. My home was their home. That's how it is. Because we're all family. Never, wouldn't even hesitate. They need to be driven somewhere. I have a car. They got it. That's how we did it. Okay? That's how you do it. And so you got to find out what is your person's proclivity. What is the predominant personality of your person. Okay? Don't try to force your person to be something. If it's not extroverted, don't have it sitting up there trying to do public speaking and it's a completely introverted, but you want to try to help it to be balanced. But if it's a really seriously introverted person, then let them do the work that introverted people do. You do the work that introverted people. Join a team and you do the work that the extroverts can't do. That's how you do that. Okay, if you so desire to do that, it's totally up to you. There's no demands that you do anything. You don't even have to change if you don't want to, but you're not going to get nowhere if you don't change. Because change is the underlying force that God has put into motion. And the other word for change is evolution. Sudden change is called revolution. A revolutionary change has the same beginning syllable as radical. Radical is really fast, sudden change. Revolutionary change is sudden change, but it is not as radical. Radical is extreme. And we want to avoid extremes. Look at what causes cancer in the human body. They call them free radicals. See, folks, if you have this knowledge, you can apply it to what you do. And so I know I don't want to do anything that's too extreme, because extreme things cause cancers, which is unhealthy things that will kill the body form. Take that knowledge. Knowledge is power. Apply it in your life. And instead of doing things radically, do them gradually. Take it easy. You've been allowing this flesh form to run amok and do whatever the hell it wanted to because you didn't know. But now that you are aware and you are awakened, take it easy. Now, if you feel there are some things you need to snap and do sudden natural adjustments to your person and perspective, okay, then you do that. It's up to you. You use your judgment. But I'm just saying, it can't be with everything. There is no one size fits all. You got to use moderation in all things wherever possible and wherever needed. If you need radical, do radical. It's up to you. I trust your judgment. I want to talk about what happens when, what the different things that God has put into place to guarantee that you will have moments of awakening. And even though you're going to sleep, your microcosmic spirit is now free of the restrictions and the confusion that is attacking it from the flesh form, because the flesh form has to go to sleep. So every night that your flesh form is sleeping, your microcosmic being and spirit is now free to be and express itself and prepare plans in your spirit level, on your spirit level, so that when that vehicle wakes back up and begins to babble again, you'll notice there's a little bit of something in there that's different. And if you ignore it, it will recess back again, and you will allow the flesh form to take complete and total charge, and you will get random, all kinds of nonsense, out of control. You'll feel like everything that's happening, because see, what's happening is not happening to the human form, it's happening to you. You're the microcosmic being. You are the feelings and emotions that is being sent out. What do you think, that you're being sent out into the air? No, it's being sent to you, the microcosmic being. You paying because you allowed it to go on, because maybe you didn't know. But see, the subconscious machine is working all the time, whether you know it or not. See, that's why you got to have a mentor or somebody to come in, and you got to say, I need help. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. But you have to seek. And what God has set up is, if you don't seek on your own and move toward, get on the path of righteousness toward being better, then God will do something that will make life so uncomfortable for you. And you won't know exactly what's wrong, but you know something has got to change, because what you're feeling is not good. So the bad feelings or the uncomfortable feelings is a signal that you better do something, because see, you're the only one that can do something. Change won't happen until you initiate it. There you go again. How many times do you have to be shown that you are the operative force in the physical, on the physical plane? It's you. Now, you are either going to be a victim, or you are going to be a leader and a director and a controller of what happens to you in your now. Because the cycle is always playing. Whatever you put in, whatever goes in here, comes around and hits you in the face. And that's going to trigger another reaction. Ooh. And you're going to trigger another reactive thoughts. That's going to go in and come around. Boom. That's how it's working. That's the anatomy and the dynamic of what's going on within is coming around, manifesting without, and hitting you square between the eyes. And you may not have known it, but that's what's going on here. Okay? So you have to take charge. All right? And make sure the things that are coming around are under your control. Okay? All right. So once you get right within, the unlimited training starts. Okay? From your micro God through your physical form into the world. And a lot of what you're bringing to the world is for the world. it appears to be for you, but you just getting stuff for you don't do no good for the world. So to show you how much everything about you is not for you, and I've said this in my other videos, you can't even see yourself until you look in the mirror. If you want to talk to God, you got to get a mirror. If you want to physically see God, you got to get a mirror and look in your eyeballs and look past all of that, and that's God. Just like Professor Kaba said, from the skin in. See how everything I'm talking to you about is coming full circle? You know why it's coming full circle, family? Because I'm not making this stuff up. This is what is going on now. And this is what has been going on now and all the times in the past. Which brings us to now. Where we are now in our level of progress on the evolutionary journey. And everything that has happened and that is happening is exactly what is supposed to happen on a bigger scale. To you, on your micro scale, to you, it seems very personal because you're out of control. But once you get in harmony with what's really going on, you'll understand there's a much bigger picture and you're just a small part of it. And you are proud in that understanding that you know you're doing the very best you can to contribute to the game, the journey. See? Again, all of these good feelings, all of this strength, all of this joy, all of this honor, and all of this happiness. See? Because you are in harmony with the will of God. And all your personal needs and your idiosyncrasies and little things that the flesh vehicle does don't matter. Because it's about the bigger picture. Gay and all that other stuff. None of that stuff matters. Because it's personal. It's personal. Personal doesn't matter in big picture. Keep your personal, personal. And when you're out in the public amongst people, be honorable and respectful. And everything will be fine. Those of a like mind work together. Don't force, trick, game, con, jive people into stuff. Be respectful and honorable about everything that you do. Use moderation and discipline in everything that you do as much as possible. And don't worry about the rest. Everything will fall into place because you are trying. You're putting forth effort to be righteous and do right. See? And the more you do that, the more honorable and decent the world will be. And it's up to you. It's always up to you. Oh, wow. I actually came to the end. I can't believe it. So, you can win, as Lauryn Hill says, putting it optimistically, as I always do. I'm really, contrary to my rants and my raves, I'm very optimistic. And I'm a very loving and compassionate person. And because I see young people and older people are being taken advantage of, it enrages me. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing my passion. You're seeing my my drive and my enthusiasm. That's the word I was looking for. That comes out when I see injustice, when I see people hurting masses of people by purposefully lying to them and leading them down a path of destruction that is leading them to more ignorance, pain, and suffering at the end. Okay? That's when you're going to see the law enforcement part of me come out, and want to protect. And I've always been this way from little boy. Want to protect the people who are ignorant and unaware and being taken advantage by filthy things like that thing and that whole party of Confederates that are trying to infect America and that have been infecting America for hundreds of years. America has never been great. Never. The great countries in this world have been the countries that have helped the other people in the world. And America has never done that. They've talked about it and advertised and marketed a lie. There are some people in America that go out like Doctors Without Borders. These few little people that come from America that go and try to do right. But the American government and these filthy Confederates have never done anything to try to help anybody but themselves. They're completely and totally selfish, greedy, and destructive in their very essence. And they call it conservatism. Conservatism is another way of saying selfish and greedy until they get in trouble and they need something. And all of a sudden they're going to want everybody to help them and they start whining and crying like babies because they're weak. Selfishness and greed are the characteristics of the weak, ignorant brute. And I will fight them as long as there's a single breath in my body with information, light, wisdom, and knowledge. I don't have to fight them by myself because all I got to do is educate everybody around me and their eyes will be open and they will see them for what they are. Useless, contradictory, negative, hateful, and evil. And they must be kept under extreme control. That's how you have to deal with them. They don't have to be wiped out, but they have to be allowed to sit on the side so goodness, you have something to compare goodness to, because you see what evil and nastiness and filthiness looks like, and hate. You see what it looks like. Okay? Now you can see how good everything else is. So leave them there. But keep them under that rock. Slide that slithery thing. Slide them low down dogs under the rock where they belong. And keep them chained up in the backyard. Put them on the side yard. Because you want people to see them. With evil, watch them froth at the mouth and do what they do. You know how they get up on the stage and start pontificating about why we need to be separate and stay away from these other people and don't help them. And they're coming after your resources. They're going to take they're using up the welfare resources and they're using up. Where do you think you got them resources from? Where do you think the water comes from? Where do you think this whole planet comes from in the setup that has the electromagnetic field that keeps the sun from burning this sucker up with you on it? Where do you think they got that from? They didn't make it. Them selfish, greedy bastards, they didn't make nothing. They don't make nothing. They take what other people make and try to claim it for themselves. And if you want to side with them, go ahead. Because when the karmic law come around to kick ass, it's coming for you too. You ain't going to be able to hide from it either. This is deep stuff. So you better pick the right side. And you better side with, and I suggest you side with righteousness. And be empowered by truth, goodness, and decency. Okay? All right, family, I'm going to wrap this one up. We've gone only an hour and 20 minutes. I think I've given you pretty much everything I wanted to give you when I woke up this morning. And you, again, you can win, and you have won the moment you start beginning the work of getting right within. To know truth is to live truth. To know truth is to live truth. And I'll see you in the next movie. Drink your hot tea.